Guru Amardas Guru Ardas Bhai, Ramdas Guru Ramdas Guru Ramdas Guru Sachi Sai, Ardas Bhai Amardas Guru Amardas Guru Ardas Bhai, Ramdas Guru Ramdas Guru Ramdas Guru Sachi Sai, Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Sri Guru Deve Name. Guru Pyari Ji Satsangit, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Oh, it's a great honor and a great privilege to be in the presence of our Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, to be with Sangat and to understand the great strength we have to be here together as Sangat. So please excuse me if I speak English, but it's a little better than my Punjabi. So we came here to the Gurdwara several years ago, I believe, 2017 we visited. We're very lucky to be back again, to be here with Sangat. You know, Satsangat Ji, it's so important in this life that we live that we have this gift to be at the feet of the Guru. I came to the feet of the Guru, I was 24 years old. I was a very young person. And many ask me, why did you come to become Sikh? How did you become that Sikh? How did you get to that place? Today I'm 70 years old, so it's been a long journey with the Sangat. And I let everyone know that what I was searching for in my life at a very young age, I wasn't searching to change a religion. I wasn't searching, I wanted to deny my culture. But what I was looking for that came to my mind was that here in this world there was a teaching that was a true teaching, that was an honest teaching, that taught people to love each other, to care for each other, and to have a great devotion. And that first time that I must take, the first time that I bowed my head at the feet of the Guru, I was a very young man. But as soon as my forehead touched the floor in the front of the Guru, I knew that I had found something special in this world. So over these many, 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 many years of study, of understanding, of learning, of reading, of teaching, of traveling the world, I found that there was no greater way to live than to live as Guru Sikh. But I'm from English background, and I had to understand what that meant. What did it mean to be a Sikh of the Guru? What was that in my life that had to change? And one day someone asked me, they said, are you a part of that Sikh religion? I said, no. They said, no? You look like you are. What do you belong? I said that I follow the Sikh way of life. That Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Sache Patshahi, brought to us a way of living, a way of life, to help others, and most importantly, to see that each of us are the same, to accept everyone. In this day and age that we live, 2023, in this Kali Yuga, this dark age, is a very difficult time. It's a difficult time for the Sikh Panth. It's a difficult time that we're living in this world. And the problem in this world is there's those in this world who want to stop us. There's those in this world who want to create problems, not just for Sikh, but for all people. We see that there's war, there's a lot of difficulty that we're facing. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji came to this world at the time of the Kali Yuga to share a message and spread a message of Ek Onkar, of the oneness of all humanity, of the equality of all people. and to stand for the human rights of everyone. And that was what he started. And to give people a way of life to live, a way of life to share, and to have devotion at the feet of God.
Punjabi?
Hanji.
Thodi Punjabi? Punjabi?
No, Punjabi no. And that's what attracted me to become what I became, was Khalsa, was because I was looking for that universal truth. Universal means for everyone. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji started, what did he say? He said, everyone is created equal. Doesn't matter what is your color, doesn't matter what is your gender, man, woman, doesn't matter what is your caste, doesn't matter what your faith belief is, doesn't matter what your preferences are. He said, everyone is created equal. And those are the eyes that I wanted to see through. To see an equality for all people. And each of our gurus brought that aspect of the life by defending not just Sikh people, but defending all people. And in a sense, we have to look at that today in our lives. What is the importance of devotion at the feet of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj? What is the importance of keeping ourselves centered and balanced and trustful? We say Guru's Kirpa by the will of the God, by the will of our Guru. That all that shall happen, shall happen. But Guru has to become that anchor for us in this life to carry us through. And I learned that, and I always say that if I can learn it, then you can learn it better than me. You should know it better than me. But I knew that somewhere in this planet exists. When I was very young, even as a teenager and even at 10, 12 years old, there was something in my mind that said somewhere on this planet is a true teaching. And I'm only sharing this with you this evening in order to understand how I walked on this path, how I came to live, and over 2/3 of my life, it's going to be 50 years coming up soon, when I came to the feet of the Guru. And I said in my life that I knew there'd be sukh, there'd be dukh, there'd be good times, there'd be bad times, but I said I'll never leave the feet of the Guru. That's the impact. And that devotion is what will carry us. So we have to understand what is that relationship, and especially for our young people, that they have that relationship of understanding. I came very much like them. I didn't know anything. I was very innocent. But Guru came into my heart. And when I studied first Guru Nanak Dev Ji to find out his life and his teachings and what he did and where he went and where he visited and how many people he touched and how he created something that didn't exist on this planet before he came. Before Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they said God lives outside of you and somebody has to take you to that God. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, no, he said, that's not true. He said, God lives inside of you. And everybody can experience that. Everyone can live that. And he was the first that said that talked openly. And to bring all people together to live a good and balanced way of living with devotion. If we don't have that devotion in this life, then life just becomes like a boat. You know, if it's on the water, it just might land here, it might go there. But if you put the anchor of that boat, it keeps it stable and steady. And that's what Guruji became in my life. That even through the ups and downs of life and all the things that we go through in life, there has to be some anchor, some balance. We say in English, touchstone, that reminds us there's God. And that remembrance of God is the strength of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. One asked me the other day, they said, well, where did you learn? How did you learn? I said, yes, I had teachers, I studied, I read books, I traveled, I met different Granthis, people that taught me things, Gyanis. But I said, most of what I've learned in these years of life has been from the teachings of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. that everything that we need to know about life and living exists in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. You know, we've traveled the world and we visited so many Gurdwaras over the years, many, many years traveling the world. And sometimes I would sit with the Sangat and I would see that someone was in depression. I'd see someone is having difficult times. Some come to me and they say they're poor, they don't know how they can survive. But I asked that question, I said, how can one of us be in a depression when we have Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji? How can one of us say we have a difficulty in living? So the key is that we have to trust that. We have to trust that Guruji will answer, as Guruji tells us shall answer, and take care of our problems. And I'm from Western mind. Our children born here are from Western thinking. And we ran many businesses. And one day I was very worried. The phones weren't ringing. This was many years ago. The phones weren't ringing. No business was coming. No sales were coming. Nobody was calling. So I said to myself, what should I do? So I had a couple of choices. One choice was I could worry, get upset. But the other choice said in my mind, why not take that Hukamnama, go to the feet of the Guru, and ask the Guru for guidance, to guide me. So I did, we went, we took the Hukamnama. And the Hukamnama that day, Guruji said, don't worry about anything. Everything you need is taken care. Everything you need was the Hukamnama that day that Guruji gave to us. So I thought in my mind and I said, well, that's good, but who's going to pay my staff? Who's going to pay the mortgages? Who's going to buy my supplies? Who's going to pay my supplies? Everything came to my mind. But Hukamnama said, don't worry. Everything you need is looked after. So that day my mind was duality. It was two ways. One way was trust that Guruji said everything is looked after. The other mind said, no, I better look after myself. Nobody's going to look after me. If I don't do it, who's going to do it? So I had to weigh this together. So that day I was good. I said, okay. If Guru Sahib says to me that everything is looked after and taken care of, then I'm going to trust. So something in my mind said, you know what, just go for a walk. Don't worry so much about everything. Guruji said it shall take care. So I did that day. I said, okay, I'm going to go out. I'm just going to go for a walk. I'm not going to worry. And so Sangaji, when I came back that afternoon, the phone started to ring. And orders came in, and I don't think that phone stopped ringing a couple of years. A simple story is true. It was a simple story. But what did I learn from that experience? That was another experience that taught me trust that Guru Sahib shall take care. When Guruji says, I shall take care of you, Guru shall take care. So I had to face it. I'm not saying I accepted everything. I had to face it in my heart. I had to face it in my mind. But what gives me the strength of that? What gives us that strength to be able to hold that mind steady? Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj talked more about the mind and controlling the mind and commanding the mind in his Gurbani than anything else. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj said, don't be a slave to the mind, but command your mind. That was his strength. But what gives us that strength to command that mind? What gives us that strength is the power of Gurbani. Gurbani is an exact science of the mind. Exact science of the mind. Gurbani isn't just to read. Gurbani is the exact science of the mind. Gurbani has a rhythm and a vibration and a sound current that we call Shabad Guru. The Shabad Guru is a technology and the science of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. When I sat that first day in front of the Guru, I didn't even have never in my life heard Gurmukhi, never heard Punjabi. But that day I could hear and listen to the sound. When the Ragi Jeta was doing the kirtan, I didn't know what was the first time ever to listen. But I listened to that sound, and the sound of the Shabad was like a wave of sound. And that wave of sound went through me, and I said, oh my God, what is this? What is this amazing, beautiful sound, vibration, sound current that changes the mind? Gurbani changes the frequency of this mind of ours. By changing that through the Shabad Guru, it opens channels of intelligence, intuition, knowledge, trust, capacity. It changes you from just a thought to an intelligent mind. Power of Gurbani changes us. We read Bhat every day, not just because someone said you have to read, but read because that vibration, especially on Amrit Vele, when you rise in the early morning, before the sun rises, and you recite the Bani, when the sun is coming 60 degrees up is extending, the sun is coming up while we're doing our Gurbani, by doing our Bhat, what happens? You rise with the sun, and it lifts you from any depression. So many come to me, they say, well, I read Bhat, but my mind is going here, I can't concentrate. Someone says I fall asleep all the time. But we have to learn to hold the mind steady. If you're reading Bhat, you feel all the time your mind is just going this direction, that way, you can't focus, stop and sit still. Relax your shoulder. Inhale, Vaheguru, 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 just for 2-3 minutes. And your whole nervous system will calm. Your whole nervous system will calm down. Then try. See the difference. Guru Nanak Dev Ji taught that we read every day in Japji Sahib. Amrit Vela Sachanavari Ai Vichar Karmi Ave Kapita Nadari Moktuar. Rise when the sun is rising. You rise with the sun. And all that karma gets washed clean. One day they asked to explain, why does the mind get washed clean? What happens? You know, if you take a piece of paper, I don't know if you still write or you go on your computer, and you write everything that you did yesterday, everything you did today, everything you're going to do tomorrow, everything the next day, and you just keep writing, eventually it becomes full. There's no place you can write. If you take that paper, write it. So every day we have to clean that and start fresh. When we rise in the morning and do Bhat, it refreshes us. It cleans that yesterday. Can you go back and change what happened yesterday? Can you change what you did yesterday? Do you have that power to change what you did yesterday? Nay. But we have that strength to carry today and to bring a new tomorrow. And that's what Guruji taught. He said, bring that new tomorrow. Don't bring sorrow into that tomorrow. Bring happiness. Don't have fear. Nirbho nirvay, we read every day. Doesn't Guruji tell us, don't have fear. Don't be afraid to face your day. And if you face your day, these young ones will face their day. If we show and practice who we are, they will grow. Because the generations of following in Sikhi will change the face of Sikhi. Sikhism is still very young. We're still fighting, still trying to understand. And while we're trying to understand and grow as Sangat and learn how to have unity, because these young ones want peace, They don't want conflict. They want to understand the strength of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. They don't want politics. And their generations, our young adults, you young adults, you as you grow, the situation will shift because it has to become that peaceful in our Sangat. Why? Because as this world right now, we know this world's on fire. This Kali Yuga, it's a darker time. We see what's happening with war, with threats. And we're seeing today what is happening in the Punjab. How again the same is happening with rights being taken. People being arrested without any charge against them. Internet's cut off. Western media doesn't show even what is going on. But we have to change that. We have to fight against racism. We have to fight against persecution and not be afraid. We're needed in this world, just as our gurus gave their life so that others could live. Who could take the pressure of that and not give in. When the Mughals came after Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj and thought, well, if they killed him, that would be the end of Sikhi. Right? They thought that would end Sikhi if they just killed Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Did it end Sikhi? Nay. Because we're too strong in that understanding of the strength we have and what gurus have given us and the teachings that we have at our feet. But as I said before, the most important thing is that we learn to live it. We have to live that strength. We have to live that courage. We talk about Khalsa, we talk about courage, we wave the Shastras everywhere, but do we live that courage? It takes courage to awaken the Amrit Veda, doesn't it? It takes courage. Isn't it nicer you want to stay in bed, that nice comforter's over, it's nice and warm, and feeling cozy? Why do I want to get up 3:30, 4 o'clock sometime? Cozy, it's nice, it's warm, right? But we get up. That's the courage. That's the strength. That's how we have to command the mind, not become a slave. Because your mind will make 1,000 excuses. Well, I want to get up, but it's warm, but it's too early, but then I have to go to work, and I've got to make kids pack lunch, and I've got it right. Every excuse you can make, you can find at 4 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, you can find 100 excuses. That we call slave to the mind. Command the mind. I don't like to get up, though. Why should I want to get up that early? I've been doing it for 40 years. But I say to my mind, I say, get up. No, I don't want to get up. Get up. Right? I say, okay. And then I say, thank you, Guruji, you got me up today. And that's the strength. That gives us that capacity, that ability to conquer in this life, to win in this life. Everybody wants to be happy. There's not one of us that says, no, I don't want to be happy. Let's be unhappy forever. Nay. We want to find happiness. I found my happiness at the feet of the Guru. I found my happiness in my devotion. I found my happiness in Sangat. Because I was raised in the Sangat. I came at 24 years old. Today I'm 70 years old. I was raised over 2/3 of my life, have been with you. Because I saw that this is a strong, capable Sangat that is going to one day be known in the world. And we shall be known in the world of those who stand for the rights of others, just as our gurus and the martyrs have shown. And that's our path, that's our path in this life. As this world is burning, we have to stand tall. That is the Khalsa Raj. And that Khalsa Raj is today. It's coming, and maybe next month, maybe 5 years. It's today. So Satsangji, let us hold the strength of that. Hold the devotion at the feet of the Guru. The mind can be sorted out through Gurbani. The mind can be sorted through Simran. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. What is Vaheguru? wow, wow. The greatness, the beauty, the wonder of all that exists. And Guru is what? That which takes us from darkness to light. From unknowing to knowing. One day they asked me, I said, what is Khalsa? I said, it's simple. Khalsa is not a question, Khalsa is an answer. Khalsa is an answer to the way of life. Khalsa doesn't just mean, oh, pure one, they say in English, Anji, they were pure one. What does it mean, pure one? Amrit Chak we take to give us that. When I took Amrit Chak, I said to the Guruji, Guru, I said, you have my head now. My head doesn't belong to me. My body doesn't belong to me anymore. My body, mind, spirit, soul, you name it, Atma, belongs to you. And where you guide me to go, and if I have to die for that, standing for the rights of others, then that shall be it, because I'm no longer me. I'm you. And I was willing to make that sacrifice. Khalsa means those who are willing to give their lives to help others, to share with others, to be known, to spread these teachings throughout the world, to help save humanity. It was said there was an Englishman who said, he was a very famous Englishman, he said that the teachings of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib could bring peace to this entire world. This was an Englishman. He said, but there's one problem that they're facing. They're not sharing it to the world. So I felt in my heart, because my native language is not Punjabi. So I said, Guruji, then I have to understand how to explain this as best I can from you that I learned, to explain in English the philosophy, the understanding, the science, the technology, the teachings, as best I could, so that those who didn't understand Punjabi in our Sangats and those in the world would be able to know the beauty of Sikhi. So we started on television in Canada. It's about 25 some odd years ago. I was on TV in Canada 18 years. We broadcasted every week in Canada. The first in the world to broadcast in a show about Sikhi in English. And not only did it help many of our younger generations at that time who weren't learning it through the Punjabi, but also many English people would come and watch the show and see the show on television. And they'd write to us and they said, we would never know that Sikhi was such a beautiful faith, that it had such history, that it had such devotion, that it was so beautiful. Because what did they see in the media? What did they see? That we only fight each other, showing tirpans each other, fighting in the Gurdwaras, right? That branded us just mad people and terrorists and this and that. That was what the public saw. So I knew in my heart that Guru brought me for some reason, I don't know why. And we started to teach and spread these teachings throughout the world so that the world could understand the strength that we have. When I was looking and I was wanting, as I was a teenager, and I was looking to find a true faith, a true belief, a universal teaching, I would go to the libraries. And in those libraries, I could find a book on Muslimism, I could find a book on Christianity, I could find a book on Buddhism, I could find a book on other things. But you know what, Ji? There was not one name in that library said Guru Nanak. So I still couldn't find these teachings. I was looking. Not a single book on that shelf taught Sikhi, taught Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So still I was searching and looking. And by some good fortune, however Guruji brought me to you, to be with you and to be at the feet of the Guru, And when I started to learn and understand what Guru Nanak Dev Ji has brought to us, my mind said that the world needs to know. That we have to show the world the strength that Guruji brings to us. Guru Nanak Dev Ji taught simply, Ek Onkar. He said there was one God. We say all the time. And he said that God lives within us, is not outside of us. And that one God is the same for all people, everyone. And that we should look through those eyes, that everyone we see has within them God. That light, that jyot. So he taught that we have to see through those eyes. In Mulmantar's exact science of life, to understand, exact science of life. Mulmantar teaches us the exact living, Ek Onkar Satnam. There's one God, Satnam, the truth of that identity exists within me. Satnam means within me lives that identity of Satnam, of the true Nam, the true name, lives inside of me. Satnam means that I am the personality within me of that truth, that living truth, Satnam. And that through that living truth I understand that the Kartapurk does everything. So I'm guided by that. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, be guided by that principle. Ek Onkar, that there's one God, Satnam, that the truth of that identity lives within me, and the Kartapurk, that which created all creation, guides me, takes me through this life. I gave you that short, simple story. Guides me in this life. But what quality is that guide? What does Guruji say? Nirbho and Hanji? Nirvair. Hanji, Nirvair. Nirbho, Nirvair. Be guided by no anger. Be guided not to be against anyone. Be guided in your life to see the light that lives in the heart of every person. Don't be afraid. Have no fear. So Nirbho Nirvair, yes, is the quality of what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is describing of the God, but Guru Nanak Dev Ji is also saying to us, Nirbho Nirvair. Mulmantar isn't outside of us. Oh, we just recite the Mulmantar is outside. Nay, Mulmantar is also inside of us. The same message. That the one who created all creation, who infused that creation into each of us, has no fears against no one. We have that quality that we're to be, have no fear within us, not be afraid. To be what? What is after Nirbho Nirvair is? Ha Kal Murat. Hanji. Be deathless. When there's no fear, when we're not against, then we become eternal. We become free within ourselves. Just as God has no form, just as God has no anything against anything, we become deathless in that called Murat Ajuni Sahiban. Just as that God is formless, takes every form. We have that capacity. Guruji tells us as human beings that we have that capacity. Is written in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji that every human has a capacity to achieve and become greater than we can even imagine through devotion. And when all that is realized and all that is given, Ek Onkar, Satnam, Kartapurk, Nirbho, Nirvair, Akal Murat Ajani Saibang, and then we have Guru Prasad, the gift. The gift of breath. The gift of this life. But then we have the Hukamnama from the Guru. Jump! Wake up. Jap. Wake up. Be alert. Meditate. Chant. Recite. Repeat. Jap. Japa tapa sanjama. Changes the life. Gives the experience. On what? Then Guruji gives us the most universal technology of life and understanding of this creation and concludes Ad Satya, Jugad Satya, Hai Bhi Satya, Nanak Hosi, Ha Bhi Satya. He gives us the exact universal understanding of the existence of this entire creation. He says, Ad is such. Ad means first, primal, beginning. He said, in the beginning of time is that Satya, truth. The truth and true heart and true living is the essence of the existence of all that exists in this entire universe, cosmos, that's contained in every star, in every planet, in every solar system. In every sun, in every moon is that essence of that vibration of Satya. Jugada Satya, that through all the ages, Guru gives us those 4 ages, that same truth exists. Have be such to this day at this time is no different. But we have to live it. Nanak Hosi be such, and Nanak says it shall be forever. Shall be forever. So no matter what some of these that want to create wars and craziness and arrests and all that that's going on, it has to end. It cannot keep going. This Kali Yuga is coming to that end, where light and love, the jyot, the humanity has to come to the surface. And those who want to try to take away humanity and jail those or kill those that are fighting to bring others out, as Bhai Amitpal Singh has brought other people out to give Amit Chak, to take from the drugs, if it gets persecuted, that others become persecuted, that has to come to an end. We can't continue to have that. There cannot continue to have senseless wars like Ukraine and other places where there's just no sanity, no saneness to why this is happening today and how it affects these generations. But we're here, my belief, that Guru Nanak Dev Ji and all our gurus who came, who shared, who gave their lives, all those martyrs who sacrificed and gave their lives so that we could live today freely in the presence of our Guru, we have to stand for those human rights and be an example of those human rights to help change this world. Otherwise, what world will there be left? And that's why I said today, gee, we have to have that strength of mind. With that strength of mind, don't we read every day, Japji Saipat Manjit Jagjit? Simple words. Conquer your mind and conquer the world, Hanji. Conquer the world. It's true, it's Guru's words. And that's the strength, Satsangaji, to my belief, and Mafkaniji, if I'm making something wrong, I don't know, but this is how I believe and how I see, and how these almost 50 years of being with you and being at the feet of the Guru, to never stop sharing and teaching and spreading as much as we can about our belief and understanding and strength. So especially our next generations, our young adults, our young children, we have to be an example. We have to live this life so they can live this life and to understand. Because Sikhi is not just my culture. Some of the kids say to me, well, that's my culture. But it's beyond culture. If we just teach it as only our culture, then we're losing what a valuable gold can't even buy, money can't even get. It doesn't matter that the gem, the jewel that we have, that ratan that is in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, has to become that which guides every move that we make, every understanding that we hold, every truth that lives in our heart. every guidance we need to give, every prosperity and success, every compassion and kindness has to be guided at the feet of the Guru. And if we lose that strength and we don't give this generation, my belief, this generation, that opportunity to have that experience, then we're losing. And in this age of what's happening now, this Kali Yuga, we as Sangat cannot afford to lose our next generations. So let us have that strength of mind, strength of body, strength of spirit. Let us create a future for our children, our young people, that shall be bright and beautiful. Give them a devotion and a connection at the feet of the Guru, so they can live with that in their lives to trust it. And may our lives be blessed that we had this opportunity, whether born to it or whether came to it as I did, to feel that strength, the power, the deep, deep commitment to let Guru carry us through this ocean of life. Don't we say every day, Jinni Naam Dhyaya, Ge Mashakataga, Nanakate Mukha Uchare Keti Shuti Na. Do we say every day? Jinni Naam Dhyaya, meditate, vibrate, Dhyaya, the Naam, the sound current. And Guru says, those who do that become radiant, glowing. That jyot becomes strong inside. And many others are carried along with them. And when I understood that, became a very deep part of me, that if I could just keep balanced at the feet of the Guru, rise in the Amrit Vele, do my part, do Simran, vibrate the Naam, hold it in my heart, that if it could help me become a better person, and as a better person, if I could help another person, then we can carry each other through this time. It's a very difficult time that we're facing. It's a difficult time that our children who know everything, they're on their iPads, their iBooks, their cell phones, the media, social, all this stuff. These kids know everything. We didn't have that. But these kids have every access to every information. Problem is, it's too much. They have too much information now. Too much they know. They don't know what to do with all of that. We have to help them. Because this generation doesn't want controlling parents. You know, as a parent, have you ever tried to control your child now? You can tell, they're so smart, they know every way out, right? I say they're like little lawyers. They can negotiate you out of anything. Well, Mom, Dad, I'd like to come, but I have to do this. And by the time they finish talking, you don't know even what to say. They're so smart. Because these young people don't want a controlling parent, they want a wise counselor. They want to know your wisdom, they want to know who you are. And if we don't reach these children at a very deep level within them, we'll lose them. Because they're too smart. They know their way around. But if we give them that devotion, every day sit 4, 5, 10 minutes, Vaheguru Simran, is it so hard? If you rise in the morning to Japji Sahib Path, they can sit with you. Why not? No reason not to. Only the mind interferes. It's only our mind. That's what we lose control. And then we wonder why we have a problem. So Satsangaji, let us have strong minds, strong bodies, strong faith in the Guru. I always tell these kids, I say, if I can do it, this Gora Singh from Canada, right? If I can do it, can you not do it 100 times better than me? I had to learn from you. And Dori Punjabi Bol, I don't even speak that much. I'm a lazy, I speak more, but a little bit lazy. So Satsangji, thank you so much for the opportunity for us to be with you today. May Guruji grant us peace and prosperity and goodness and kindness in heart. May love be your call. May compassion and kindness be your way of life. And by Guru's Kirpa, may we all be successful and prosperous in this life. Satsanga ji, we have to end now because we have another program. But we'll be here for another few weeks in UK. And as you know, we can come to my Facebook pages and that by Harnam Singh Khalsa to see Kata, other programs. And also your donations to us help us to do our traveling and help our expenses to grow so that we can continue to share Guru's message. May Guru grant this beautiful Gurdwara, prosperity, Sangat, Pangat, and let us create a tomorrow for these children that shall be bright and beautiful and at Guru's feet. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sat Sri Akal.